I used to think the universe sent warnings in subtle ways, missed calls, uneasy feelings, small arguments. But the day my life flipped over, the universe didn't whisper. It punched me square in the chest. My name is Michael, 38 years old, and a year and a half ago I was the kind of husband who existed more in spreadsheets than in his own marriage. Work ruled my life, and my wife, Sarah, quietly slid down my priority list without me even noticing. Guilt eventually caught up with me like overdue debt. So on a random Thursday, I made a rare, impulsive choice. I changed my flight, grabbed an overpriced bouquet from the airport shop, picked up some fancy chocolates, and decided to surprise her by coming home early. I imagined her jumping into my arms, both of us laughing like we used to. Maybe this would fix things. Maybe I could still be the man she married. I walked into the arrivals area rehearsing something romantic in my head. But instead of the scene I fantasized about, I walked straight into a movie I never auditioned for. There she was, Sarah, standing near the gate, hair styled, makeup flawless, wearing the dress she saved for anniversaries. And she was holding an enormous bouquet, easily triple the size of the one in my hand. Not for me, I knew it instantly. Then he walked out of the tunnel, tall, fit, perfect hair. The type of man magazines claim is effortlessly handsome, which is code for your self-esteem will not survive standing next to him. Sarah lit up like a 1,000-watt bulb. She actually ran in heels and threw herself into his arms. He lifted her like he'd been waiting months for that moment. Her flowers smashed between them. My roses suddenly felt like they were mocking me. My heart didn't break, it dropped, cracked, and rolled away into the ugly airport carpet. I stood there 20 feet away, holding melting chocolate and the truth I never wanted to discover. Instead of confronting her, I lifted my phone, took a photo, and turned around. I walked out of the terminal feeling like I'd stepped out of my own life. And somewhere between the gate and the parking garage, I started laughing, quiet at first, then uncontrollably. The kind of laugh that scares strangers. This was the day my marriage died, and I had the photograph to prove it. Sarah texted me that night like nothing happened. Flight okay? Miss you? The audacity almost impressed me. I played along, calm, collected, acting like a man who didn't just see his wife sprint into another man's arms. I knew confronting her now would give her room to twist the story, cry, manipulate, rewrite history. No, I wanted the truth airtight. So I began my quiet mission. The next day, while she hummed in the kitchen making coffee, I pretended to go to the office. Instead, I locked myself inside a conference room and opened our joint credit card account. The statement didn't just tell a story, it sang a whole opera. Fancy restaurants, she said, were too expensive for us, hotels I'd never heard of, charges that added up to thousands, and then the jewel of betrayal, Tiffany & Co., $1,476. She bought jewelry for another man while I got socks for my birthday. I documented everything, screenshots, dates, times. The folder on my laptop grew thicker by the minute. Then I accessed her cloud backups. Years before, she'd connected her recovery email to an old account of mine. She never changed it. Within minutes, her photos and messages synced to my screen. There he was, Brad, a man with a name that sounded like a protein shake flavor. Pictures of them at concerts, hiking trails, brunch spots. Captions like "My person" and "New beginnings." Meanwhile, I was at home eating cold leftovers and thinking we were just going through a rough patch. For 2 solid weeks, I pretended to be the perfect husband. Flowers, breakfast in bed, compliments. She soaked it up like sunshine. Then she mentioned her biggest event of the year, the charity gala she'd been planning for months. Brad would be there too. You should meet him, she said. He's been so helpful, inside, fire, outside, a smile. Of course, I'd love to. 2 weeks before the gala, I hired a top-tier divorce lawyer and coordinated something. Dramatic. The night of the gala, I helped zip up her dress, told her she looked stunning. She kissed my cheek, believing we were a strong, united couple. But the truth was sitting in my pocket, stored neatly in a folder named "For Court." At the gala ballroom, I shook Brad's hand with a smile sharp enough to cut glass. You've been amazing for Sarah, I said. All those late nights, hotel meetings. Incredible dedication. He paled. Good, I made sure the event photographer, my friend quietly working with me, captured every shot of the three of us together, plus a few candid moments of them standing too close. By midnight, Brad vanished and Sarah looked like she'd aged 5 years. She had no idea the real event was yet to come.